Good afternoon, happy Tuesday, and happy 2023. It's a brand new year, a brand new era of TLR, better known as the Ludicrous Report. As always, I am one of your co-hosts, Joey Karni, and with me, as always, my other co-host, she is the Diva Incarnate. She is Issa. Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you. We were just talking about the weather, and I swear it started pouring outside as soon as you hit go live.
Oh, man, it's pouring here too, and no, it's not hitting right.
I feel like you jinxed me because I told you it was 82 here.
Yeah, no, you said it's 82 degrees and then rain. So I apologize for the rain. So much to cover. We're already a few days into 2023 and a lot has happened. A lot of sad stuff, a lot of I don't know, just not
Yeah, 2023 needs to take a
chill
chill
out.
pill for a
Yeah.
second. Like, look at the menu, order an appetizer, bro. You're going straight to it.
Yeah, we've had some deaths, celebrity deaths. We've had some uh just I don't know. So if you're listening and watching out there, we're going to try to make this as positive as possible. And to kind of make light of a situation that happened on Monday Night Football, Damar Hamlin obviously suffering a crazy situation. What are your thoughts on? Did you catch it at all, Issa? Did you see what's going on?
So I was doing a Monday Night Raw watch along, and at first I saw somebody in the chat say, "Hey, somebody collapsed on the Monday Night Football game," and I was like, "Okay." So I continue the watch along. The more that I start seeing people mentioning it in the chat, the more that I'm like, "Okay, this must be serious." And
Yeah.
I pay attention to football, especially when it's going towards the playoffs. I'm one of those fans that start watching it late in the season and watches the playoffs. So I was paying attention to the score, right? But when somebody said they're performing CPR, that's when I was like, okay, hold on. So I
Yeah.
remember pulling up Twitter and the video, just like my stomach dropped. You know that feeling that you get in your stomach just
Yeah.
from watching him like fall backwards. It was like after that I couldn't. I switched Raw to Monday Night Football just to wait to see if they would cancel that game because I couldn't believe that they would try to make them play after
Did we lose Issa? She's there.
there's still not any viable updates. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary.
No, I was on Twitter during watch obviously doing Monday Night Raw, and I'm seeing all these updates come in, all these videos, and I wasn't sure what was going on, so I checked it out, and just you see this ambulance back up onto the field. Everybody is silent. There are people crying and on their knees praying, and just I didn't know what was going on, uh, and it's just a scary situation for his family, for everybody, his teammates, everybody watching. I mean, apparently he got hit too hard in the chest and it caused cardiac arrest.
Yeah, there's this doctor on YouTube that always like makes a video when these crazy injuries happen, and he said that
Yeah.
this is a very rare one because you have to get hit at the exact same time that your heart is performing a certain kind of pump
Wow.
or whatever. Like your heart has to be. He said it's one of those injuries that you think you're only gonna see on a textbook when you're learning how to be,
Yeah.
like a doctor or whatever, because it is so rare. However, I have seen accounts of people saying it's not that rare. It happens. This one just happened to be on national television.
Yeah. No, just scary,
But it
scary
does send your
situation.
heart into cardiac arrest, apparently. Like they were performing CPR on him for 9 minutes. It's one of those sports moments that you're always gonna remember like
Yeah.
where you were because it was just scary.
Yeah. And as of right now, I don't think there are any legitimate updates as to what's going on in
Right.
his status. But what we do know, and to make, like we said, a positive uh, light out of this situation, his charity has raised more than $4 million
I love
hours
it.
after this injury. I mean, that is incredible. And this is a guy who's very much into charity. If you
His
look him up,
original goal was $2,500. That's
wow.
crazy that he's at 4 million, and I hope that he recovers because I need him to be able to see how he brought the whole world together.
Yeah. No, if you look up his name on Twitter or any search engine, really, all the videos that come up are him talking about his charity, him just
Mhm.
talking about such positive stuff. So honestly, I really do hope and pray that he makes a full recovery. We can get some sort of update soon. But I mean,
Yeah,
four
me too.
million in a couple hours, that is incredible.
Yeah, NFL even released a statement from the family, thanking everybody for donating and obviously thanking the first responders in Cincinnati last night who
Yeah.
had to deal with that situation. But it just it was a scary moment, and it's good to have something to kind of like smile about, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we were all so shocked and scared just to know that everybody just was able to look that up and help.
Yeah.
It's just awesome when the internet wants to be awesome, as toxic as it can be. When it wants to be awesome, it can really make some wonderful things happen.
Yeah. And just kudos. I know that there's like a, I don't know if it's a meme. There's a picture going around all over social media of that fan who just made a sign quickly, and said something like, pray for them. I mean, that was kudos to him for doing that. That's really what we're seeing all over social media, and things like this charity and fans like that. That's what we really need to focus on in these types of scary scenarios.
Agreed. And it was the players comforting each other from both teams, but not only that, but fans. There was a lot of news coverage from outside of the hospital where he was taken, and there was fans from Cincinnati and the Bills. It just became so much bigger than a
Yeah,
football game, and it was a game that had a lot in stakes. Both of these teams are fighting for the playoffs. Like, this wasn't just a game, but just to see everybody being able to put that aside and say, no, 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 this is bigger than this is. It became just a game, and a life was more important for everybody. So it was good to see the unity.
yeah, and talk or speaking on injuries. We saw Jeremy Renner also suffer a scary injury. I mean, like, just like we said, days into this new year, it is crazy the news that's been coming out. Again, prayers to him as well. I mean, we don't know. Apparently, he's stabilized, but we don't know what his status is either. So, I mean, there's just,
Yeah, last we heard he was in critical condition as well, so we had to stay tuned for updates on him as well.
yeah,
Hawkeye, man, I hope he's okay.
seriously. Um, so lighter news, I guess we can say here. A topic that I saw that was kind of interesting. Rolling Stones obviously does their list of the best whatever, and they have the Rolling Stones list of the best 200 singers of all time. And what's interesting about this is that they left off Celine Dion from that list. Now, I grew up in the '90s. I'm a '90s baby. I know who Celine Dion is. She's an icon, and I would definitely say that she's on that 200 list. What do you think before we go into it further?
I hate this list. I hate doing list of anything. It's so subjective, and you're gonna be wrong, right? No
Yeah,
matter what. That's my
yeah,
opinion, because it's your perspective of the magazine, maybe some votes, maybe some
yeah,
popularity contest, right? But I would assume this is Celine Dion.
yeah,
We're talking about some of the best pipes in the game. Like, I literally opened, and now I just went to the article, because I keep all the articles that we send each
yeah,
other open on my tab. I'm literally just clicking on the list, because at this point, what I need to see is who made the list. Because if
yeah,
they left Celine Dion out, but they okay. I'm only on 198, and I'm already seeing, how do you leave Celine Dion out for this name, and this name? No, no, I'm with Celine
yeah,
Dion, and I'm not the biggest Celine Dion fan. I like back in the 90s, of course. Who doesn't know Titanic, right? So
yeah,
iconic. Um, I drove all night. Oh my god, what a fucking
yeah.
class! I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Now that I think about the 90s, maybe I do like Celine more than I give out to. But I'm saying I'm not her number one fan. I'm more of a rap hip hop kind of person.
Yeah,
But yeah, that feels disrespectful. Like, and especially knowing what she's going through now with her health.
yeah,
Um, people should be livid. There's some voices that we just go down that you're gonna mention: Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Freddie Mercury. Like, there's some
yeah.
voices that have to be on your list no matter who you are, and I feel like she's one of those.
Yeah, they say here, major names like Paul McCartney, Prince, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, they're on the list. But and this is no disrespect to any of these names, but Billie Eilish and Rosalia are both on the list.
Kelly
I would,
Clarkson is at 194, who I also think has a good voice, but it's like you put Kelly Clarkson over Celine Dion.
yeah, no, Billie Eilish doesn't
Yeah.
come anywhere close to Celine Dion. First of all,
Yeah, I know.
she's a newer artist. Regardless of records or whatever, whatever it is, I can't see her being
I'm just
like, you
scrolling.
just
I need
can't.
to know who the number one person is. So at this point, I'm just scrolling to the Aretha Franklin. Okay. Okay. Fine. Whitney Houston at number two.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke at number three. Billie Holiday. I'm looking at the top. Mariah Carey at number five. So yeah, I feel like Celine Dion falls in that Mariah Whitney category. Voices that you're always gonna talk
Yeah.
about.
I would
Okay.
definitely say that in my opinion, at least, it's not factual or anything. I would put
Right,
Celine
right.
Dion before Mariah Carey.
Uh
I it's close, but I would definitely
You
say
know
she's
what? Maybe the problem is that it feels like this is a popularity contest because I would definitely put Celine Dion
yeah.
before Beyonce, and Beyonce's at number eight.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, are we looking at how many hit singles or name recognition? Because I would assume if I go and act at 13-year-old, hey, you know Celine Dion, they're gonna be like, who, you old lady, right? But I would assume that it feels like a popularity contest. Some of these I look and I'm like, okay, fine, I agree with you on some of them, right? But it's just
Yeah.
like you said, like you look at the entire list and it's like you really left out Celine Dion for this name and this name and this name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's this is why I don't like lists. A lot of times people tell me it's like, oh, do lists on your YouTube channel, and I'm like, nope, no, that because you're gonna everybody's gonna disagree with what you think because it's a subjective thing. Celine
Yeah.
Dion is one of the best voices of all time. Come on.
Of course, and she's been able to do so much. I mean, this is a lady who came and learned English. I don't know, and
They put Freddie Mercury at 14. He's not even top 10. This list is cap. This list
yeah,
is crap. It's so nah. I'm not. Rolling Stone, get it right.
yeah.
There
I
was the
wish I
Sports
knew.
Illustrated not putting Roman Reigns as the wrestler of the year. Come on.
Yeah. I just don't understand, like, what are they basing the criteria off of? I mean, like you said, is it a popularity contest? Is it who had more record breaking moments? I mean, like, who sold more tickets? Like, I don't know how they would figure this out, but I mean, Celine Dion, I don't know. I think definitely has to be top 200. Come on, you find a place.
Let me see something. Man, I'm now looking at the same list, but like back a couple of years ago, just to see if they had her
Yeah.
on, because then they're just being flaky, fickle.
Fickle. That's the word.
Yeah.
Fickle. Love it.
That's definitely the word. Because I'm looking at it from like 2008.
Yeah.
Now, see Mary J. Blige like that, and back in 2008 they used to do only 100.
Yeah.
Okay, this is pretty consistent with no, John Lennon, good one. See, they had her in 2008. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
What is going on? Oh, okay.
Maybe
Whatever.
because she hasn't. I mean, has she made music recently? I don't even.
No, but she doesn't. She has because of her health, she wasn't able to do
I mean,
like her
that
tour
wouldn't
and all
matter
that. But she
because
had that Vegas residency that was selling out every night.
yeah, even if she hasn't been making music, I mean, Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin are on there, and they have passed on.
Aretha
So
Franklin got the number one spot. Exactly.
yeah. So I don't know how they. I don't know. This is a very weird. I don't know. Rolling Stone.
I'm gonna have to agree
better.
with Celine Dion fans here,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying she's the best of all time. We're all gonna have our different preferences on that. You know, if you had to guess voice, right? Let's just talk voice, not hit singles, not anything voice. What is like the best singing voice that you feel like you've heard?
I'm not sure. I mean, because like obviously
Exactly.
Aretha Franklin is up there, but like she's not my generation, so like that wasn't majority of what we heard. Like for me, I heard a lot of like Kelly Clarkson, Celine Dion. I mean,
Right.
who else is up? Beyonce. Who else is up there in that realm of? I mean, even Lady Gaga. I would say, is she on that list?
No, I haven't seen him, but I haven't gone through the whole list. I'm a Freddie Mercury person.
Oh, I am
That
too,
voice that
100%.
that guy has, like, it's just on a
Yeah.
different level. To the point that Queen, now they're doing it with Adam Lambert, who,
Yeah.
my God, does he have some pipes on him? But look at all the years that it took for Queen to say, okay, we feel like this person could, they're not trying to
Yeah.
replace, but could come close enough to performing these songs to the level that he performed them at. And
Of course.
once Bohemian Rhapsody came out, we all went that rabbit hole of searching videos of them performing live and just seeing the way that, like, I don't know, but I love his voice. He's up there for me when it comes just to voice. And I'm not even a Queen generation person, or that's not even my
Yeah.
type of music. It's funny because you hit shuffle on my Apple Play and then he'll pop up between Bad Bunny and like JC, and you'll be like, what?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Everybody, the point I was trying to make is you're gonna think somebody different. I'm gonna think somebody different, and that's why this list sometimes don't work. But from a reputable source such as Rolling Stone, they're supposed to make it work. You and I on our YouTube channel, no, right? We're small, but Rolling Stone is a music magazine. You would think that they will get it together.
Yeah. No, not having Celine Dion on that list it's a miss. It's a miss. Definitely a
Yeah,
miss.
agreed.
But like we keep talking about, there's so many different topics that we found today. This one I want to touch on quickly. I know it's not going to be quickly because of this person. But Bad Bunny's in the news, and I sent it to
Yes.
you. I sent it to you a few minutes before we went on the air.
I
And
was waiting for it because yesterday I was doing a live stream and everybody in my chat is like, "So, what are your thoughts? It's trending," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. And the sad thing is that we all know that I'm a little bit biased on this
yeah,
topic, but I'm not in a way because you can search videos, you can see him. I mean, fans have even ran on stage and at some point, go ahead and say what he's in the news for, and we'll elaborate.
yeah. So apparently he was, walking outside, and people had their phones in his face, and he took this girl's phone and like threw it in the trash, just like right out of her hand, and threw it in the trash. And it's like she was in his personal space, and you don't know
Very,
what he
she
was.
was like up in his face with the
Yeah,
phone. Mhm.
and you don't know, like, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you have to be on all the time. They go through things just like us.
On a
Maybe
holiday, on a vacation in a
yeah,
resort. By the way, let's add that he wasn't at any public place where he should be
yeah,
expecting this, and he had a group of people around him, assuming security. Which, if you dig deeper into the story, you'll see that
yeah,
kids were approaching him in the same walk as this woman did, and
yeah.
he stopped and asked, "Hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you." Bad
Not
Bunny
the
sent
approach.
out a tweet. Yeah, sent out a tweet, and I will translate it, happily translate it for you. And he says, every person that approaches me to say hello and say something on or just wants to meet me will always receive my attention and respect. The ones that come and put a bleep phone in my face, I will consider them that they're not respecting me, and I will treat them the same way. Now, there wasn't an approach, there wasn't a, hey, I love your music, can I take a picture with you? No, she just walked up to him with the phone. And if
Yep,
you watch the video, he smiles and gives her a couple of
yep.
seconds the government is watching me. The Puerto Rican government don't want me to talk about Bad Bunny. um, so I'm biased, but I've seen him. I mean, the other
Yeah,
day he jumped on top of a gas station in Puerto Rico
I saw that
after spending the day giving gifts to kids. He did a free concert.
free
Like,
concert.
Bad
Yep.
Bunny is not one to not be there for the fans.
Yeah,
So I think celebrities, we talk about it. We talked about how the Kardashians talk about Miss being able to go shopping or do
yeah,
certain things. I think about that with him because he's the kind of guy that still, I don't think he recognizes how big he really is.
yeah,
And he just spent a year doing tours. Like, this is his first, like, let me sit down for a second and relax moment of
yeah.
his 2022. I'm gonna have to take his side on this one. But I will pay good money to see the video of the flying phone. Like, I need to see that footage.
Like Logan Paul jumping onto Roman from the top rope. Like that's gonna be
Yeah,
that kind of
I
video.
need to see the footage of Bad Bunny going and grabbing the phone and just throwing it. Because, it was on video mode. It
Yeah,
wasn't on phone mode. Because if it was just a photo, you would have taken it and moved out of the way, which he gave her time to do that.
yeah. She just took advantage and it just overdid herself. I have to agree with him as well. I think that, like you said, this whole year. I mean, this guy has been on, like nonstop tour,
Do
concerts.
you ever see the video of the girl that kissed him without consent, a fan at a party?
Yeah, I've seen.
This man has dealt with a lot. It was
Yeah,
bound to happen at one point or another where he just goes like,
yeah.
please leave me alone.
And this, I think, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think he said, or someone said 2023 he's taking like a break. It's going to be his break year,
Yeah,
which,
because he's going to wrestle.
yeah, he
I'm
deserves.
convinced. I'm convinced
Yeah.
he's not taking a break. He's going to wrestle because the last time he took time off from music was to train for WrestleMania.
See, so that could be happening. We've seen him meet with Triple H over the last couple of months, so it could be. Who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, he deserves a break, and
Yeah,
if you approach him the right way,
yeah,
based on all the videos, there's so many fan interactions with him. You see him everywhere, especially here in Puerto Rico, and he has never to this point been disrespectful to anyone. So
yeah.
it really, you have a one negative story against thousands of positives. I mean, if it continues to happen, then I will say let's worry about it. But
Yeah.
at this point, I would assume that I'm gonna take Bad Bunny's side on this, and I'm pretty sure he has enough money to pay for the phone back. So
What I thought, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny at the same time. I saw the backlash he was getting on social media, and it's like, on one side, you're like, how do you come at this guy where he's literally been doing everything that everybody's wanted for forever now, and the one time he says no,
right.
where it's clearly overstepping his boundary, you're gonna attack him. Like I saw people say, "Oh, it's in his name, Bad Bunny. He's a Bad Bunny," and then people were saying, "Oh, heel turn 2023." Like, come on, guys.
Fans were running on stage to the point that they had to change the setup of how they were doing the stage, and he was never rude or called security on them. He was actually more worried for the fans' well-being because it was a tall, high stage. How the hell did you get up here? Was always his reaction. Like, he's being harassed a lot, and Bad Bunny sings certain lyrics a certain kind of way that I would assume maybe make people think that they can just approach him that way and forget that he's an actual person. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was funny because I remember 2 days before that he went viral over a free concert. He just tweeted, "Hey everybody in Puerto," I was mad I missed it because I had to do a podcast, but "Hey everybody in Puerto Rico, come here, I want to be live there." I was like, yeah, okay. And then next thing you know, he's saying, like, I thought he was just singing one song. He did a whole mini concert for free on top of a gas station, and he went viral for that, and then they immediately turned on him. So okay,
Fickle.
Yeah, we keep talking. That's the word of the day.
Yeah. So other topics that we have here. Obviously, I'm sure we could sit and talk about Bad Bunny all day long.
I can.
But on the topic of people who are getting backlash, I mean, you sent me a great article, a British article, sort of say, nearly half the British public want Prince Harry to be stripped of his Duke of Sussex title after that that Netflix series he did with Meghan Markle that I watched. I'm very invested in that story. I started watching it.
And you don't think they're full of it?
Oh, it is the most BS thing.
Yes.
I can't believe what I was watching. I was like, what is happening here?
This is and supposedly she's not happy with the way that it was edited. I was like, there was no editing, girl. You guys were talking. It was literally a sit down of you guys talking.
She was making fun of people without intentionally making fun of people. She was on another level.
They contradicted stories that they have told so many times to fit their narrative. Yep. I found out, okay, we should have, we want to have the Kardashian corner. Yeah. We should have the pop culture rabbit hole because that's the rabbit hole I went down to this week. I didn't want to watch the actual documentary. I refuse. I feel like
boring.
This whole.
I tried.
Really? Did you make it through all 6 episodes?
No, I got through like 1.5, and I was like, all right, because it was a lot of repetitive stuff that we'd already had seen.
Right.
And it was and then it became like almost like trash talking without it actually being trash talking. And I was like, what is going on here?
I highly suggest you just go on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and search the people saying what they said here compared to like the Oprah interview, to their engagement interview, just so you can see how many times they've lied about a topic.
Yeah.
That was my rabbit hole, and I found that way more entertaining than even having to click on the, because they changed the story of how they got married, how they got engaged.
Yeah.
Like that, like even like they said she was roasting a chicken and he proposed in the kitchen. Now there was a whole elaborate setup in the backyard. Now supposedly they got married day before privately. Like everything is
Yeah.
changing. And I did excuse me, I didn't watch the Oprah interview, but I
did.
watched the clips, and I felt like a lot of it came as untruthful or trying too hard to slander a family that's not. I feel like they've accepted her. You know, I get
Yeah.
what they're saying, and only they know. There's gonna be two sides to the story.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they would have done everything that they did, especially that crazy lavish wedding, the way the country, like she's even talking about not feeling safe in the UK. And I was like, you never look like people, they loved you. People were in the
Yeah.
streets to greet you, to witness that wedding. Like the documentary has not, it's not being a good look, to the point that even the British people, like you said, the document, the report that I sent you,
44%.
even the British people want them stripped. And they were voted the most narcissists. She was voted most narcissist in one famous I'm sorry, both of them were voted that in a
Yeah.
famous UK publication as well, where they did like a poll, and like
Yeah.
I think 66% voted for Harry and Meghan as the most narcissist people of 2022. And I was like, oh my God. And now he's gonna write a book. Like they won't stop either. And I just feel like they're just digging themselves deeper here.
Well, I think what they're doing is they're just they're deepening the narrative that they want to be told, that they want told about them. Because they feel it. I think they feel insecure that people don't believe them. So they're just digging deeper and deeper to try to make people believe them in a sense. And
she said in the documentary that she never experienced racism in her life until she got to the UK. And then in the same line, she says that people didn't think she was her daughter's mother because of skin color.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's racism. Did you experience it? Did you
Yeah.
not experience it? Like there is a lot of, and I've experienced this, so I'm never gonna like be against someone speaking out for racism, right?
Yeah.
But I also don't think that you should use it as a weapon just to,
Yeah.
like the race card, you know. And I
Yeah.
feel
People
like there
always
was
say
a
that.
lot of that in this documentary.
Yeah.
I hated when she did the curtsy joke. Like you could
Yeah.
even see how uncomfortable Harry got. And it's like that's a double standard. You want him to protect you, to respect who you are, but you can't. These are British tradition, and just because they're not the same as how we were raised doesn't mean you don't respect it. Like and the whole, she didn't know who he was, but she was obsessed with the royal family when she was growing up. Like it is
Yeah.
insane, all the stuff coming out right now.
Yeah. I remember watching the Oprah interview, and it was more of like an emotional, like sad piano music playing in the background. Like
Right.
they were scared for their life. That the family was just like this mob coming at them to murder them, and then in this documentary they're sitting on the couch and they're like chill out, laughing, and just kind of making it seem like it's not as bad as it seemed in the other interview. I don't know. It was very, very
And the comparisons of
black
her
and white.
to, yeah, the comparisons of her to Diana that they were trying to portray in the documentary are
Yeah.
so off. Like there is proven evidence that she has set up, called paparazzis to set up these like random photo shoots, right? I never seen a video. Nobody has been able to provide a video of them hunting her the way that they hunted Diana, or even Princess Catherine. Because I remember when William and Catherine were together and he wasn't proposing. They were together for like 8 years, and she was just followed everywhere. People were like, "And you think he's gonna ask you to marry him?" Like, I think she went through it more than Meghan and Harry did. I think people like the change that Harry was bringing Meghan into the family.
Yeah.
And then he said something like, "Oh, I want my brother back because he yelled at me." The reason why he yelled at her is, guess what? My wife had to go through it too, and she survived. Like it's a part, it's a compromise. That's what you sign up for when you want to date or marry into that family.
Yeah. And you know what sucks? I've been a fan of Meghan Markle's work, like as an actress. I loved her on Suits. I don't know if you've seen
Two
that
shows
show.
of it.
honestly, it was one of my favorite shows that was on TV. I love that show, and she was great in it. And they did touch on racism in the show as well. So I don't know what she's talking about. She's never experienced racism or whatever she said, and they definitely had some different storylines in that show regarding racism and like in the workplace and things like that. So
Yeah, I also feel heartbroken about what she's and I don't know. Again, like Samantha says in the chat, there's three sides to every story,
of
but
course,
her mother wasn't present throughout her younger years. It was her dad who did everything. Put her through
yeah,
college, made sure that she didn't have to work so she could focus, took her to the shows, show her everything about the show business. And now her dad is like suffering from a lot of health issues, and she
yep,
just keeps talking about how she lost her father throughout this. And it's not the only member of her family that has come out and said she kind of dropped us once
yeah,
she got involved with Harry. And I'm very close to my parents, that
yeah.
breaks my heart, because it's
Same for
like,
me.
okay, if the whole issue was maybe on the beginning you didn't like it because you had all this press and you didn't want him to bring you negative press attention, you're done with that. You moved out of the UK. Why not try to reestablish that relationship instead
Yeah,
of him having, so many health conditions in Mexico in a hospital somewhere, and you haven't even reached out once? Like, it's
yeah,
a lot. But if you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, I highly suggest go on YouTube. There's a lot of incredible content creators. A lot of the ones that I watch are like royal family channels and experts
yeah,
that compare all the interviews that they done, just to kind of like call them out on some of the things that they have said and how much the stories have changed. And it was just mind blowing to me. So the Netflix was a success views wise, but I think a lot of it is affecting them negatively.
yeah. I think they could have done without the Netflix series just because everybody kind of knew the story already. It's been played out in so many different things, and you've just seen it everywhere. Have you ever seen The Crown on Netflix? It's a show based upon the family.
No, but now that I'm like getting into all of this content
Yeah,
because of this, I kind of want to start watching it.
same. I know a lot of people that I know have watched it and are continuously watching it, and they all tell me it's such a great show. And like
Yeah.
I have always had like a weird thing with the royal family. I always find it so fascinating to learn about them and their
Me
history.
too. The thing the only issue that I have with the crown is that nowhere in the show you see that it is a fake portrayal. Like, this
Yeah,
isn't so some people are coming off in ways that they really weren't. It's almost like
of
that
course.
last Blonde, that movie that Netflix made about Marilyn Monroe, that's based on
Yeah,
a book and not based on Marilyn's life at all.
yeah,
And people watched it terrified, thinking that's really how Marilyn was.
yep,
That's how The Crown is. So I wish they were just a little more clear in saying, "Hey, this is a dramatization. This isn't how the family really is."
yeah,
Because hold on, because my personal like and I think a lot of us in our age group and all that is like, I was obsessed with Diana and when she passed away and what happened, and I've always like all the conspiracies around it, like,
yep.
so I don't like the portrayal of Diana necessarily in The Crown based on what I heard, because I have yet to watch it.
Yeah, I that's one of the shows on my list of shows that I want to start watching
Yeah.
because I've just heard good things about it. But regardless, I mean, this is crazy that the intention I believe was to make them look better than they did before, and I think it backfired a little bit, and it just goes
Yeah.
into it shows it represents the idea that you know don't overdo it. Like I think they overdid it with this, and now it's backfiring.
I think the Oprah interview helped them gain a lot of sympathy, and I
Yep.
think that's what they should have stopped. But also,
Yep.
if you even on her podcast, she came out with a podcast too. There's just too much Meghan and Harry content right now,
Yeah.
and it's not helping them. And there's a lot.
And it's
Some
all
of this
different.
channel, I told you, rabbit hole. Some of these channels also talk about some of the things that she has said in that podcast. The problem is nobody listens to it, so she doesn't get called out for it. But there's a lot of crazy stuff that she had said in there that have also come off as lies, because now you don't know which story out of the three that she told you are to believe.
Yeah. And speaking of things that we don't know what to believe or not, the next topic I want to go into, uh, we're not in the Kardashian corner this week, but I think we're knocking on that door because Lamar Odom is again in the news, in the headlines. His documentary, "Sex, Drugs, and Kardashians." By the way, what a name. Like, come on.
It's beautiful.
Sex, drugs, and
That's
Kardashians.
clickbait right there. If you don't
Yeah,
click and watch it, I have yet to watch it. I haven't had the time, but I'm planning on
I
it.
haven't either. It came out yesterday, apparently January 2nd. I haven't watched it yet. I planned to watch it coming into the show, and I totally forgot about it. But basically, there's he's saying things on the show that people are already saying or out there, and it says, looking back, after he moves forward, Lamar Odom recalled the highs and lows in his basketball career and personal life, including his marriage to Khloe Kardashian, his struggles with substance abuse. Let's see what else here. He goes into his childhood, how his father was addicted to drugs. It just really goes into the whole story, and I guess we discussed it before how, because it's on Hulu, obviously the Kardashians' new show is on Hulu, and they're not gonna say the truth. They're gonna put a spin on it. They're never gonna make the Kardashians have any negative publicity on the same network that they have their show on.
Right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? I know we kind of discussed this before, but
Yeah, I really just want to watch it just to see what he reveals.
Yeah.
I saw going through the article him revealing pretty much that he cheated, that he was on drugs throughout that relationship with Chloe, which to me, not seeing the documentary yet just goes to show all the regret that he's shown for that relationship afterwards, right? And I
Yeah.
told you I'm a big Brother person, and he went on Celebrity Big Brother, and you could really see that was going to be something that he was never going to be able to forgive himself for.
Yeah.
He talked about her as if she was still like the love of his life. And Celebrity Big Brother that he went on was like 2 years ago. So like it was time to move on. This woman has moved on. But when I was watching the Kardashian during that period of time, I felt like their relationship was the most believable, like the most
Yeah.
genuine out of all of the things that we were seeing from the Kardashians at that period of time, right? Because I feel there's eras of the Kardashians. I liked Chloe with Lamar. And when everything happened with Lamar and that health scare, the person that was by his side was Chloe when she didn't even have to at that point anymore. So
Yeah.
I guess there is I don't know if people thought that Chloe walked away from me. I don't know, but I think that goes to show you that Chloe did put up with a lot before
Yeah.
she, finally ended the relationship. Because a lot of times, and these are things that people that have experienced it will know, if you're with an addict, sometimes when you help them, you're enabling them. And a lot of the
Exactly.
times, some of the things that you can do is literally walk away. Like if they don't see any repercussions from their actions, they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that Chloe might walk away from this in a better light, because I did like the relationship. I didn't necessarily want them back together, but they felt genuine. Their love felt genuine.
I think out of all the Kardashians, Khloe to me seems like the most genuine. There's a
Yeah.
different vibe about her than all the rest.
I haven't liked her in recent years as much as I used to. I love all the
Yeah.
Kardashians, right? It's a guilt pleasure for everybody. But in recent years, there seems to be a switch. Like, I think when she was my favorite. And I feel like when the switch started happening to me was when all the unfiltered pictures of her were coming out, and she
Yeah.
was like taking them down and having her PR taking them down, because she's always been so love yourself for who you are, and work to get where you want to. We all know they all have surgeries, right? But she had that show Revenge Body, helping people
Yeah.
get to where they wanted to get. So you will feel that she will be somebody that will be comfortable with that. I get it. Instagram is a highly filtered life. Instagram is the life that we all want to pretend that we put out there, right? Like it's the truth. But I was very disappointed in her reaction to because first of all, they weren't even bad picture. Most of us want to look like unfiltered Chloe
Yeah.
on any day of our lives. But to me, that came off as a little hypocritical from the Chloe that I know, the one that was, known as the ugly one, or the fact, and she used to embrace it and make fun of it. And now, like, she doesn't even want to be reminded of that. That kind of like it was a turn off for me when it came to how I felt about Chloe. It's weird because right now, and I never thought I would say this, Kendall is up there for me. She's one of my favorites. She's the least drama.
Yep.
But Kim is becoming my favorite Kardashian, and that's come a long way from years ago.
It's so funny you say that, because as you were saying, I knew where you were going with it. And I have to say, I have to completely agree. I think she's becoming more like relatable in a sense to people. Like she's becoming
Because
more personable.
we've seen this woman grow up and make so many mistakes,
Yeah.
literally on television. For like Kim, as hot as she is, people forget she's in her 40s at this
Yeah.
point. Like this is a whole different person from the girl that became famous on her 20s, and you're doing it for status. That she's a mom, she has all the money in the world, she has kids, and now I feel like she's just being more, like you said,
Herself.
relatable and real. Because what else can you accomplish at this point? You're Kim Kardashian. Everybody wants you. You have everything. So be yourself. I loved a segment in the Hulu show where she was talking to the haters about this outfit that went
Yeah.
viral because people were like, "Oh, Kanye's not styling her anymore, and she's already doing horribly." And she's like, "Well, that's an outfit that he picked out." And I was like, "Yes."
I just feel
She
like
was like,
she got to a point where she's just like she's done it all and she's had
mhm.
it all, and why not just be yourself now at this point and let that be your brand,
And out of a lot of the scams that the Kardashians have been involved in, that's a whole different rabbit hole I
Yeah.
went on a couple of weeks ago. But Skims is one of my favorite products out of everything that they're putting out there. I can't deal with Kylie's makeup anymore, none of that. I
Yeah.
thought that Kendall's tequila tasted just like tequila, like it wasn't anything
Yeah,
special
I
about
tried
it.
it too.
And actually, if you another rabbit hole. It's like manufactured at a place where they make like 80 other tequilas. Like The Rock has a farm where they just make
Hermana,
his,
yeah.
right? This one is just a bunch and they just put the label on it. But anyways,
Ah,
back to what I was trying to say. I think Skims is a great brand. I purchased a couple of their clothing items and I really really like it. So I do
yeah.
think that she did a good job with that brand.
And back to kind of what we were talking about before with Chloe. I do have to agree with you in a sense that like there's been a difference with Chloe over like the last couple of years. And if you look back, remember all those rumors that people had started where they said that, she wasn't related to them. She had like a different father or she was adopted or something like that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's really what got into her head as maybe like not an insecurity, but something that's like just like weighing heavy over her. So I think that's where she started really like she felt like she had to she was expected to be like the rest of them. So that's
Right.
when we started seeing, the body changes and the confidence boost and different things happening. I just think that she felt that she was expected to be like the rest to prove that she is related to them or she has the same biological parents.
I can see that. I can see that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, definitely. Also, a good American, a good brand. A little
Yeah.
overpriced, but it's a good brand. I wore a couple of their clothing, and their jeans are incredible. So Chloe also did a great job with that.
See, I'm not. I know I'm aware of their brands, but obviously, like they're not like men's brands, so I wouldn't really know anything about.
Kardashian brand expert.
There you go. I know that Skims though. My sister wears Skims. I know people who who use Skims, and it's apparently everybody loves it. So I haven't heard anything bad. So
No, it's very good. It's very. There's a couple of things that just don't work for me, and
yeah,
sometimes it's impossible to get based on whatever she launches. It just sells out right away. But there's a couple of just like there's just everyday wear. Sometimes you just want to be at home and be cozy but still look cute, and
yeah,
she nailed that look.
yeah. And it's funny because in the show or wherever she's always utilizing her own products, and her daily. I don't know if you see pictures of her, even on the show, they're all wearing Skims, and you're wearing your Skims today. Oh yeah, me too. Like they're always promoting and marketing themselves. They're freaking geniuses.
They're
As much as
PR machines.
they are,
I don't like some of the hate that they get because what they've done with how they started
yeah,
is insane to me.
yeah. And a lot of people don't know this, but before Kim kind of like blew up because of the sex tapes that she had, she was working with Paris Hilton. They were doing like they were
She was Paris Hilton's personal assistant.
yeah, they were
And
organizing
now I think
closets.
she's worth more than she might be worth more than Paris at this point. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, they were organizing celebrities' closets. That's kind of what they were doing before. That was
Oh
her
my god.
startup business.
I'm sorry. I had to bring this up, and it's not on the articles, and I'm pulling an audible here, Joey. But did you see Paris come out and perform
I
with
was just
Miley
gonna say
Cyrus?
that. I was just gonna bring it up. I was watching that whole Miley thing, and Miley singing the song, and nobody knew what the song was. And then I'm like, I've heard this
Stars
before.
are blind. It's a jam. I love
Yeah.
that song. I'm sorry. I scream and I got crowing excited, but I popped so hard, and she looked like the Paris, like the dress, the outfit,
Yeah.
the styling was like the Paris that came out with that song years ago, which she has aged very well. I think Paris
Yeah.
looks even more beautiful now. But oh my god, when I tell you I saw that in the biggest smile, because those are like, there's two dark songs that I absolutely love that people
Yeah.
don't talk about enough. That's one of them. And
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's Rumors, I think
Yeah.
it's a banger, and people don't talk about it.
Yeah. No, Miley was performing it, and I'm like, I've heard this song before, but I couldn't put. It's been such a long time, like, and obviously she put her own spin on it, and then she brought out Paris, and I was like, oh my god, that's the one song that Paris
I
Hilton did.
screamed.
And
I
I'm sitting there
screamed.
watching with my family, and they're all like in awe, like Paris Hilton looks great. And I remember my dad saying
Beautiful.
she's got to be what is she in her 30s? And we all looked at him like, no, dude. And I looked it up. She's 41.
I was just looking it up, and I was gonna say, I would say that she's young, but based on her relationship with Kim, that's Kim's age, and that's probably
Yeah.
why they got along so well. They were around that group of girls. Like
Yep.
Britney was involved in that. Britney,
Yep.
Kim and Paris. Maybe Paris has better doctors, because she stays slim. She didn't go with this whole like you need to have a Brazilian butt lift look
Yeah.
that everybody's going for. She stayed herself. She didn't do certain things, but her face,
Yep.
she looked incredible. But the sparkly pink dress, it was such a Paris thing. I
Yeah.
recognized the song, and when she said, "Are you guys ready for this?" I was already screaming. I was like, "Please bring her out!"
And did you see how she ended it? The song ended, and she goes, "That's hot."
Yes. I love Paris Hilton. It's
Yeah.
been crazy. Speaking of people and rabbit holes, it's been crazy what we learned about her and the school that she went through and all that crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Her mom.
Like that's a YouTube
Insane.
YouTube premium documentary. Really good.
Yeah. Her mom, Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton. She gets annihilated on social media because she's on one of those housewife shows, and apparently she's like a psychopath. Like she is nuts. And there's a lot of things. I know Paris had a show as well. I think on Peacock, she had a show, and she talked about how the mom was just like evil, or I don't know what is. I don't know the correct term there, but how the mom is just nuts.
She is. It's been documented, but I always have mad love for Paris Hilton. She's one of my favorites. The way she made velvet tracksuits a thing, where we all wanted to wear a pink velvet tracksuit, and I also think she's somebody that's grown older.
I didn't want to wear one, but I get it.
No, okay. Well, the girls wanted to wear one. She's grown older and just go on to just own who she is, and I become a bigger fan of her now than I was back then.
You know what's cool about her? She is not in the news like at all. If anything,
not like she used to be.
And like, if she doesn't have to be anymore. She's always gonna be like that, like Paris Hilton. You know, like she doesn't do anything.
And if we gotta talk about that era, that period of time where celebrities, adult tapes were leaking, right? Because remember, we have Pam and Tommy, Kim Kardashian, Paris. Like there was an era of that. I gotta tell you, One Night in Paris is the best title of them all, hands down. She won the title game of the leaked porn movies.
Yeah. Did Kim's even have like a title or anything? I don't.
Kim's. It was like Superstar Kim or why do I know this information? Hold on.
I never even knew they had names.
They did. One Night in Paris is epic.
One Night in Paris, obviously everybody knows that one, but
hold on, what was it called? It was called like Superstar something. Like the Kim Kardashian didn't have an original name at all. Like I don't even remember it, and that's what I mean. Like I can't. Yeah, Kim Kardashian Superstar. That was the name of it.
Speaking of films,
featuring Ray J, by
featuring Ray J.
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of movies and stuff, have you seen anything lately? Anything good out now?
No. I watched The Circle on Netflix.
Okay.
The new season is back. I love it. Have you ever seen The Circle? It's a reality show on Netflix.
I've seen one episode. I never really Yeah.
It's so good because you can enter as yourself. You can play somebody else. Nobody sees
Yeah.
each other, right? It's like the ultimate conning of social media. I find
Yeah.
it a very interesting experiment. And
Yeah.
you've had, I think it's like the same amount of catfish winners
Yeah.
have you have people playing their real selves. So now we're on season 5. So now we're gonna
Got it.
break the tie and see what the best thing to do on social media is. Like play a
Yeah.
character or just be yourself. Anyways,
Wow.
I watched that, but I gotta tell you something. I opened Hulu the other day, and I went and watched Empire Record for like the 700th time. It's like New Year, same me, just watching old movies instead of
Yep.
choosing to watch something new.
Love it.
What
Love it.
about you?
I haven't really watched anything new. I started on New Year's Day. Like we just didn't do anything. Like we are all just tired. Started watching Yellowstone. Apparently, it's a
Oh my
top.
god, I need to. Everybody keeps talking
Everybody
about
keeps
it.
telling me about it. It's like an old. It's not really old, but it's like a cowboy show. And it's really interesting.
Oh,
It shows like the business side almost to
oh,
like
being a cowboy?
yeah, like owning a ranch and like how it's like a mob. Like it's crazy, like crazy. It's
There was
dramatic. It's
a show.
emotional.
There
It's
was a
funny.
show.
It's
There was a show on Hulu that I think they canceled after 2 seasons, and I was such a big fan of. I don't know if you ever watched it, but it was called Shut Eye, and
no,
it
I
was
never.
literally, oh my god, they still have the 2 seasons up on Hulu, but it was
Yeah,
literally about these psychics, and it was like psychics and tarot card readers, but it was like that. It was like the business side of it and how they were scamming people, and there was like a whole psychics mafia, and how they would pull the tricks to get people to believe what they were saying and pay the money. Like
yeah,
it was such a good show. I like, but I like all of that witchy stuff. I'm not
yeah.
sure that I will get into cowboys and ranches, but maybe I'll give it a try.
Have you watched Wednesday?
No,
I didn't watch it either, and apparently it was like massive, like massive.
I know everybody's talking about it. Everybody.
I just I didn't get in. I really wasn't a fan of like the whole Adams Family thing, but apparently I was
Right.
reading before. Apparently the show got canceled, even despite it being like really really good. Amazon bought
Got
the rights to
canceled?
it or something. Yeah, Amazon bought the rights to it. So if they do come back with it, it'll probably be on Amazon Prime, not Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. So
No, that's interesting. I didn't even know it got canceled based on all the reviews that we've been seeing.
yeah,
Everybody's like
I don't know if that's
gushing
true or
about it.
not. I saw that before and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like Amazon bought the rights to that whatever Wednesday Adams Family stuff. So I don't know, but
There are some shows out there that people like jump on. Like some companies will do that. Like, no, 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 you're
yeah.
not canceling this. We'll pick it up.
Have you
It's
watched
crazy how much consuming content has changed.
It's a little insane. It's
Yeah.
almost like our brains are warped. I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Do you think there's too many options?
Yes, yes, way too many options. There's too many options, but there are such uniqueness to each one. That's the thing. Do we lose Issa? Is she there? I'm not sure if she's still there. She froze a little bit. But yeah, no, I definitely think for those listening and watching right now, I definitely think that each, like, we have so many subscription based platforms: Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Peacock, HBO Max. There's so many platforms out there with such unique content. I guess we lost Issa. But there's so many. I'll move over so we hear. There's such unique platforms, and there's so much content to watch and consume. And like I think I am subscribed to like all of the. Oh, I think we got Issa back.
I'm
She's back.
sorry, I lost my power for a second. My power flickered, and when that happens, you lose
Yep,
everything.
everything goes down. Yeah, no, I get it. It's
Yeah.
fine. But what we were saying, all there's so many. Like you asked, are there's too many options, but there's such uniqueness to each option. So like you have Netflix and Hulu and Peacock and all these different things, and they have all different options, all the different uniqueness, unique shows, whatnot. I'm a fan of them all. I think we lost Issa again. So I'm seeing in the chat. Samantha said Wednesday was amazing. She's never seen Tiger King. I think Tiger King is one of those things you have to just watch just to watch it. It's not really anything that is going to give you any value. It's just a really entertaining show, and it shows you a different side to things that you may have not known before, which is what I got out of it. But overall, I think it was definitely entertaining, to say the least. But I see Issa's still frozen. Wait, it's loading. Regardless, though, let me take this out and add her back. There we go.
I am back. I think I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me.
That's fine. That's fine. Anything else that you want to add before we leave everybody here today?
No, I was just gonna say in regards to the options, sometimes I find myself spending more time scrolling, trying to find something to watch. I almost wish there was less options. Like when we had only cable. I know I sound like a dinosaur right now. When we had only cable, you just had to pick something from there. Now I'm like scroll through Netflix. Now I'll go to Paramount. I'll go to Hulu. I'll go to HBO. Like there's so many that sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah. There's an option on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it says surprise me.
Yes, I've used it.
Pick something. I would be so anxious to pick that option.
It actually surprised me. Oh, this weekend. You know what? I did watch something. It was like, it was called The Good Nurse. And there's a documentary about the nurse that was a serial killer. He was killing people in the...
What the hell?
In the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Netflix was smooth. I picked surprised me. It took me to the documentary because I'm a documentary geek. Netflix knows me, right?
Yeah.
But then afterwards, I finished watching and I was like, holy crap. He admitted to like 30 something people that he killed through their IV, but they think it could have been even as much as 400.
Wow.
And then when it ends, Netflix is like, oh, we think you might like this, or like more like this. And then there was a movie also called The Good Nurse, like an actual movie dramatization of what happened. So of course I clicked it. I was just like, I just got done watching it. So good. His name was Charlie Hughes, and there's both the documentary and the movie version, depending on if you just like a true story film. Both on Netflix. And that was from clicking surprised me. That was on New Year's Eve because I told you I stayed in quiet because of Roman. That was a nice surprise, and I literally picked surprise me. I was like, why not?
I gotta check that out. I definitely have to check that out. Yeah, but anything else? I know there's so many. It's a new year, a new era of this show. And a lot of good things. So
excited!
I know a lot of good things to come from this network. Know Your News network. Jimmy does an excellent job putting all this together. So I'm excited to for this year. A lot of positive vibes, positive energy. And
me too.
Despite the rain outside, but
you jinxed me. I was having a nice sunny day. Next thing I know, it's pouring. I'm losing power. Like what the hell?
Yeah, but everybody listening and watching, please, if you haven't already, subscribe down below. Stay up to date with all the things from the Know Your News network. Stay up to date with all the things from TLR, the Ludicrous Report with us. There's so many other shows on this network. I mean, everything under the sun you can get from the Know Your News network. And like I said, like, subscribe, and comment down below or comment in the chat something you'd like to see us discuss in the future, whether it's a pop culture headline that you found that we may have missed.
A movie, a documentary, a TV show. Yeah, hit us up or tweet us an article if you want us to talk about it. Our Twitter handles are right down here.
Absolutely. Again, thank you, Isa. Another great show. And again, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff that's coming up. And it's an exciting month because we both have birthdays this month. So,
yeah.
Big
birthdays, 2 milestone birthdays.
2 milestone birthdays. I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a good year for us both. I think so.
I agree, Joey.
Yeah. Always a pleasure talking to you. And again, everybody listening, watching, thank you again, and we will see you next week.